folks? Welcome back to Rinkside Report. Man, what a night last night. The Montreal Canadiens broke the streak since 1993, Kate, when it was the last time they'd been in the Stanley Cup. Did you end up watching any of the game last night, Caitlin?
Absolutely. Of course I watched the game last night. It was
Awesome.
crazy. And it's great to see the Canadians shut it out and not take it to game 7, right? Like just shut it down at home. Really impressive, and I was stoked for them. Even though I was taking Vegas, I kind of wanted to see Vegas in game 7, but Montreal is just on a tear in these playoffs from the Maple Leafs. Come back, 3 games straight to the Jets, just getting triggered by Evans, and now Vegas. And just the adversity that they faced going to Vegas with a full crowd, full capacity when they were just having no crowd. Super impressive. Super happy.
Save all that, because I have our guest today is Blain Potvin. He's from the Hockey Writers. He covers the Canadiens, and we talked way back early in the year when things were miserable, gloom and doom in Montreal when nothing was going right. And they made this trade for Jordan Staal, and we had a short little interview. I was just getting started with my show. And so, Blain, first of all, welcome to the Rinkside Report, man.
Thanks for having me.
My God, first of all, what is the feeling today in Montreal?
Well, seeing as how it's been 28 years since the Canadiens made it this far, and they won it on Saint-Jean-Baptiste Day. So for those who are unaware, that is basically Quebec's July 4th. So the Canadiens winning on that day just made a day that's normally a 10 out of 10, a 20.
The stream I was watching last night, they cut out to, I guess the plaza or wherever it was, and just the fans. There's the blue Quebec, flags, the Canadian flags. It just was a massive group of people. No burning of cars. There weren't any flipping, burning of buildings yet at that point. But I'll tell you, guys look like you guys were having a fucking great time last night. I tell you what, it was awesome to see.
I mean, if I had made it to the city and I was that close to getting back home, I might have flipped a car or two. I mean, we're talking about people who drank all day long, and like I said, it's like a July 4th, and then you throw in the local religion, making it to the promised land. So yeah, there's gonna be a couple of dummies, but for the most part, people just had a blast.
Well, I got a couple things I want to throw at you, but I'm going to throw it over to Caitlin. Caitlin, go ahead and ask away.
Sure. I mean, I just wanted to dissect the game with you. I mean, Captain Weber breaks the ice in the first goal, hadn't scored in 18 games. So him just stepping up, showing his leadership, he's showed it through the whole playoffs, but to score, I think, is another level of just excitement, especially in a big game 6 at home like this. What did you think of his leadership throughout the series and in this game specifically?
Well, I mean, his leadership has never been in question. His production, however, has been, and dealing with the injury that he's been dealing with his hand, he's had a hard time getting his shot off. But it happened early enough in the game where his hand was still kind of frozen, so he probably wasn't feeling too much pain in it. And that giveaway, right on the button for him, and that is his spot, and they just gave the puck away to him on the spot early enough in the game, and he was able to just wire one. Thankfully, Kotkaniemi was just right there, right in Leonard's face, so he didn't see it at all. So if you could script a start to a game 6 that the Canadiens can move on to, that would have been the perfect start.
Absolutely. And you got Caulfield, who's just been on fire. He's only drafted by Montreal in 2019. So 20 years old, rookie, in huge games like this, scoring a big goal. What do you think he has to do to mentally prepare to enter into his first Stanley Cup final?
Nothing. I think he has that big game background to him already. He won a gold medal for Team USA this year. He's used to being on the big stage. He has that cockiness, that swagger from just being the best kid on his team his entire life, that he knows that he can produce. And he's shown it here. So people were complaining that he hadn't scored a goal yet, but he was playing well. And then he explodes in the Vegas series. I don't think he has to do much more to prepare. He just needs to continue doing what he's doing.
In Europe, they have what they call the man of the match. And I mean, Carey Price, you can't go any, it really has got to stop there. That guy was incredible. And you really feel good for him because he's a good guy of hockey. You really, he's a good guy, and it's good to see him. So, what do you expect from Carey Price? I mean, in the final.
More the same. Price is a man on a mission. He has won absolutely everything that you could win, and except for one thing, he's never gotten a cup, and he is determined to have one. And if he were somehow able to win 4 games in the next series, regardless of who they play, he would cement himself and his legacy in Montreal. He's a definite Hall of Fame goaltender, but there's some questions as to, just how good is he without a cup. He wins a cup in Montreal. He's likely to get a Conn Smythe if that's the case. I don't see why they couldn't retire his number after he's done.
Again, we're visiting with Blain Potvin. He covers the Canadiens for the Hockey Writers. Also is the host of Habs Unfiltered. So definitely check out that podcast. Those guys do a great job, and they're really on top of the team. And we talked earlier in the year. Again, the coaching situation is certainly crazy. You're dealing with an interim coach. He's got COVID now, but the guy that runs his team is Marc Bergevin. And I mean, when last time we talked, we weren't sure he was going to survive. And boy, now he's a candidate for GM of the year. I mean, what can you say about Bergevin? I'll tell you what, he's as a player from the town where he played in St. Louis, he was a flake, and they were just talking on the radio, of all people to become GM of the year, Marc Bergevin would not have been the choice. So talk about him, and the job he's done.
Well, in the offseason, he people say he went all in. He didn't really go all in. He just spent some money. He kept all of his top prospects, Caulfield namely, and he was just following his reset plan. And he expected to make the playoffs. They did. But that going down 3-1 to Toronto, I mean, you're against your most historic rival, not your top rival, because that's Boston. I mean, hands down, Boston-Montreal is definitely a bigger rivalry than Montreal-Toronto. But historically, Toronto is the rival. Down 3-1 to them. And yeah, the talk in Montreal got pretty dark, let me say. Everyone's getting fired. Everyone's getting traded. But Bergevin, whenever something bad happens, the monsters come out of the woodwork for him anyway, because he made the greatest mistake of trading away a fan favorite in PK Subban for Shea Weber. And we see now why he traded for Shea Weber. Throughout that reset, his leadership helped cement how the team copes with any of these little downfalls, any little bump in the road. They're able to smooth it out based on his style of leadership. Guaranteed there's other parts to it, but that's a major factor. And by not having that playoff success up until this point, it gave them an excuse to definitely say, yep, Bergevin doesn't deserve to be here. I fully expected that he was going to be given at least the last year of his contract next season, and we'd see from there. But now with this playoff success on top of everything that he's done, it's pretty much a guarantee that he, Dominique Ducharme, the entire staff, anybody they want is going to stay. There's no doubt.
Sure. As fans are getting ready for the Stanley Cup Final, I mean, the thing I love about Montreal is that you guys have so many veterans and a lot of cast-offs from other teams and ne'er-do-wells and what have you, but you also have those young guys that are there too. Who are some guys that we need to kind of keep an eye on that you think really could dominate a series in the Stanley Cup type of series? A Corey Perry type of person? Again, I love Joel Edmondson. I've told you that a lot, but who should we look for?
Well, Perry for sure. If you're looking at a veteran, he is on a mission to get another Stanley Cup. He came close last year with Dallas, and he chose Montreal thinking that it'd give him another chance. And he was right. He has a chance. But if you're looking at the young guys and you're looking at who can make a major impact, Nick Suzuki, hands down.
Yeah,
he's the top name. He's the number one center. He's only 21, and he's only going to get better.
Wow. Caitlin?
Love it. Well, just reflecting back on the Vegas series, mid-series, Vegas made a huge adjustment by taking Marc-Andre Fleury out. Do you think that was a smart move? Like, obviously it benefited you. It didn't break, Montreal's, scoring ability. Just looking at Vegas as a standpoint, what do you think they should have done? Kept Marc-Andre Fleury in, or, go with their backup? Go with Lincoln.
Well, if we were talking about game 4, putting in Leonard, I thought was a fine idea, with Fleury being a little bit tired after the gaff. I can see why they did it. And Leonard played lights out. He was amazing in that game. Then they gave Fleury the net back, and Montreal took the game in Vegas. And what gets me is that none of the goals were Fleury's fault. He made the first save, and nobody cleared the front of the net, or it was just Caulfield's goal was just beyond his reach. So his level of play in that game, to me, didn't show any fatigue or any holes. It was just, they just got outplayed. And then coming back with Leonard. I mean, Leonard's a good goaltender, but Fleury is the one that got you there. Fleury's the one that has a Vezina nomination. If it was me as the coach, and I'm just a sailor in the Canadian Navy, and I write about hockey, I'm not an NHL coach, so I can't really argue with Pete DeBoer. But had I been in his shoes, I would not have switched to Leonard in that game. You go with the one who got you there.
Yeah, I agree. I was shocked, but I mean, I know Fleury plays with a lot of emotion, and I like that, but sometimes I feel like that can be also really shaky if it's, Montreal is coming at him hot, and like you said, like all the goals, weren't all of his fault. It was just screened or unfortunate little lucky goals, but that's hockey, and you got to stay loyal, I think, to your goalie. But they made their choices, and Montreal comes out on top.
Hey, Caitlin, real quick, I wanted to also point out, because I've had Blain on the show before, and something that's really important to him and me. Blain he mentioned he's a member of the Royal Canadian Navy, and I just want to first of all thank him for his service, because again, I think that we get so caught up in hockey and we forget what the navies and the armies of the world are doing. So Blain, I certainly want to thank you for your service, and again, as a veteran of the U.S. Army, just know that there's some really good things going on to protect those freedoms that we enjoy, like being able to watch a hockey game.
Well, it's my pleasure, and thank you for the service you provided. And before I was in the Navy, I was in the Army, so I covered some of the same ground you did.
Well, great. Well, again, we appreciate your service, and good luck to you guys with the Canadiens. I know you guys are going to enjoy it. I just had so much fun enjoying the tweets and everybody with that community, getting so fired up about things. It's been really refreshing for me. So, Caitlin, I'm going to close out my questions. If you have anything that you want to close out with.
Blain, thank you so much for your service. Thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure as always. And, I'm hoping that Montreal can, pull off a win, pull off this huge Stanley Cup Final win. Who are you looking for, Blain? You looking for New York, or you want Tampa Bay's head?
I love Tampa Bay. I think they would provide the best challenge, and they deserve to make it to the final. But so do the Islanders. And I think that if the Islanders and the Canadiens were in the final, it'd be the greatest troll job ever to the Toronto-based media in Canada. So that's what I want. I want to see them upset that their former GM and the team they hate the most are playing each other.
Okay. Wow. I like that idea. I'm going for New York too. I don't want to see Tampa in another final. I think New York and Montreal deserve to just go at it. And I'm excited either way, though. Congrats again on Montreal winning.
I got it personal. I'm going for the three-peat for my boy, the hometown hero, Pat Maroon. Hometown hero, baby. I got to go for him. He's from St. Louis.
Well, I mean, everyone likes Pat, but he's got enough.
No, everyone likes Pat. I don't know about that.
Three times. His name's on the cup twice, but hey, we'll say that for another time. Blain, thanks again for your service. Thanks for joining us. Good luck to you guys. Shout out to all my friends over at McLean's Pub. Those guys are great. They're so much fun. I really enjoy following them on Twitter. So thank you for your service, and we'll catch up with you guys next time.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Outstanding.